Good afternoon, everyone. If you want to go ahead and take a seat, we'll go ahead and get started. We're here today just to talk about some options that we've been discussing with City Council as far as where do we go from here with the Government Center. So we appreciate your attendance today, and at this time I'll allow our Mayor, Skip Henderson, to give some opening comments.
Good evening. No, I'm going to keep this really short because the point of this afternoon is to give y'all an opportunity to get a little bit more information about some of the different options that are available to us. And our whole focus from the Mayor's office, frankly, is just to get good, solid information to give to the council. Because to make a decision as large as the one they're likely going to make, they're going to have to make sure they have accurate, concise information. So that's, to that end, that's why we wanted to gather the input from the folks in the community so that you can give us your thoughts on what you think we need to be looking at. I do want to make mention that we have a couple of our counselors who are able to make it here today. I saw Councilor House, John House. I think he's stepped out for just a second. And Councilor Crabb, Charmaine Crabb. So your counselors are here. They're wanting to hear your ideas, and this will be played over again, and we will have an opportunity for the rest of council to see it as well. So thank you for being a part of the process.
I am Pam Hodge, Deputy City Manager. Also here is Lisa Goodwin, Deputy City Manager, our Engineering Director, Donna Newman, and our Planning Director, Rick Jones. And so we're here today to just give you information and also get your feedback. And part of that feedback is going to be online, so if you have a smartphone, Director Jones is going to walk you through how to get registered. So as we're asking questions, we'll receive your comments right away. So we want to, if you don't have a smartphone, we'll be able to get your comments on a paper copy, and that's perfectly fine. We can register all the comments that way, but there will be just an interactive process to ask a few questions and get your feedback. So Director Jones will get us hooked up and we'll be ready to go.
Good afternoon. Excuse me. Good afternoon. We're going to try something a little bit different here for you today to help you have some interaction and some input into the process itself directly. If you have a cell phone, or better yet, if you have a cell phone, could you hold it up for me? I need to know. We need to get a count for one thing. How many's got a cell phone? Can you count? You're a finance person. Can you count? It's important because we're going to see how many folks are actually voting. We're going to show you that in just a second. When you came in, you should have gotten really two sheets of paper here. One's got all the options on that Pam is going to go through and discuss with you here in just a few moments. This is kind of a summary, though, that you have as a reference for later on, because it's going to be important because you're going to actually get to vote on one of these options as we go along. On the back side of that is actually voting instructions. If you will take your smartphone, your cell phone, and go to your web browser, whether it's Safari or Firefox or whatever the case may be, and if you'll type in there menti.com, which is menti.com, it'll take you to a page, and it'll ask for where is it, six digits up here. I can't see my screen, but 6 digits are on the screen here. This 779135. You want to key that in, and then you hit enter or submit, whatever the case may be. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, we also provide you a QR code where you can scan that, and it'll take you directly to the site as well, and let you do the same thing. Once you get into the site, it's going to ask for a name. You may put your name in there, or you may use an alias. It doesn't make any difference. But I'll also tell you, if you don't put something in there, it's going to put a name in there for you. Like I played with it this afternoon. It called me Frank all afternoon, and that was not fun, but it was Frank. It's also when you put your name in there or a name of some sort, it's going to give you a little emoji, whatever that emoji may be. It may be the one I got the other day with a heart with little heart eyes, which drove me crazy, but that's what I got. Yeah, and yeah. No, okay, it may not then. I don't know. It should. Okay. Okay, well, it's not going to do anything yet. It's going to get you to the PowerPoint presentation. But once you get to the PowerPoint presentation, we're going to walk you through the slides here and show you what you got, okay? Everybody understand what we're trying to achieve here now with this?
Does everyone have what looks like this on their phone?
You should have what's on the screen on your phone once you get signed in, okay? All right. So
Let's see what happens.
let's go to the first one here. All right, so see all the little emojis on the screen above me and everything else? We're showing 14 now that have registered to vote, okay? If you have not registered, it's really your last call, but we want to give you that chance to vote. And you should see, hopefully, the little emoji, there's another one came on. You should see your little emoji that represents you on the voting itself. Let's just show you real quick here what we're talking about. It says, it's going to say waiting for players. Don't let that throw you off. We're really just waiting. Here comes someone else, a couple more here. We're going to show you. All right, it's going to tell you to get ready. It's going to tell you really to look at your phone. And the question here is now, I want you to choose your favorite of the foods listed below. This is just a test question so you get comfortable with the app itself. And what you want to do is tie into one of those, vote for one of those that you think is your favorite food, going from there. And we give you like 20 to 30 seconds on each question. If you don't vote in that amount of time, it's going to lock you out. So we ask you to do that. Okay, and then it comes back and says everyone has voted. Where are we? And you see the results on the screen above me here or in front of you about what's actually being voted. Most of you want pizza or ice cream for supper tonight. The others want hamburgers, and somebody wants sushi. So you get an understanding about how the voting is going to work and what it's going to look like on the screen. So we want to make sure you understand that. Okay. So you want to start question 2?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Is it going to pop up or I have to go forward?
Just push that button, yeah. There you go.
Okay, so next question. The Government Center officially opened for business in what year? These are just to test your history on the Government Center. You got about 10 seconds left to register. It'll tell you which one's the correct answer. So 1970 is when the building actually opened for business. You only get to pick once.
Vote carefully.
Yeah. You can't go back and change your answer. Next question. The cost to build the Government Center back in the 70s was how much? So close to 50 years ago, how much did it cost to build the Government Center? We got about 15 seconds left. $11 million. So the next question. The Government Center Tower currently houses courtrooms and judicial only, general government functions, the mayor, the city manager's office, the finance department, or both judicial and general government departments. Before. So obviously it houses both general government and judicial offices. And this voting is anonymous. We don't know whose phone number is putting in what vote. So when you go to pick an option, we're not getting any information about you personally. It gives us the information in aggregate. It does tell us which emoji voted, but we don't know who that emoji is. The Government Center contains how many departments? 14 departments, 17 departments or offices, or 22 departments? So this is all the different types of functions that are in the government center. We have about 10 seconds left. Correct answer is 22 departments. So there's 22 different departments or offices located currently in the government center. What word would you use to describe the current government center? So in this, you're allowed to just type in.
Real, a word of caution here. We have a profanity filter in the no profanity, please. But what one word describes to you the government center? If it's going to appear on the screen, you type in, there's no time limit here. Whenever Pam calls time, we're going to stop.
So I think we had about 18 folks that were participating, so, and you can see a lot of the comments: mess, old, bad, challenging, substandard, inefficient, awful, deplorable, train wreck. So I think that's everyone. So what we've been doing is, at council's request, is looking at options that we can utilize to replace or renovate the government center. And so we've been proposing, and we've worked with architects, Newt Aaron and Associates. Our architects, which is Heck Bertishaw and 2WR, have been putting together a proposal to look at different options. The budget that was proposed is just over $1 million to include planning and programming. This would be CGL is the proposed vendor to do judicial planning and needs assessment, project management from Aaron and Clements, and then design, which would be a partnership between Heck Bertishaw and 2WR. And these are to look at the 4 options, which we'll go through in detail, for a total of just over $1 million. And this is to provide more information to council so they can make decisions on what options do we want to move forward with, or what options do we want to take off the table. So looking at the proposed options, the first option would be on the existing site, would be complete demolition of the wings and the garage. So for those of you who do not know, at the government center we have a main tower that's 12 stories, and then we have 2 wings on either side, and then the parking garage is beneath the wings. So this would be a complete demolition of the wings and the garage, build a new judicial center on the existing site, and to completely renovate the tower for city administrative purposes. Also included in option 1 would be a new parking garage. So option 2, again, would be on the existing site, a complete demolition of all the buildings on that site, a new judicial center, a new city administration building, and a new garage. So this would completely remove all the current structures on that site and replace with new structures on that same existing site. This is what we're calling option 2. Option 3 would also include relocating some of the facilities to a new site. So again, complete demolition of all the facilities on that site, a new judicial center with a broader footprint, fewer stories, a new judicial center parking lot, and that would be on the existing site, and a new city administration building on a new site. So this actually includes both the existing site and a new site for the new administration building, and it would have just surface parking for the administration building. And the 4th option would be a new site, to abandon the existing site, so demolish those facilities on the existing site, or to sell the buildings on the existing site, but move all the operations to a new site, which would be a new judicial center, a new city administration building, and new parking facilities on a completely different site.
Go to the next slide, which one is the one they vote. They want to ask for questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to go back through those 4 options again, just to make sure everybody's clear. So let's go back to option 1, which is the existing site. It would be a new judicial center on the existing site, and to renovate the tower on the existing site. So in this scenario, we would only demolish the wings in the parking garage, and we'd have a new parking structure and a new judicial center and a renovated tower. So if there's any questions on any of these options, please let me know. So option 2 is a complete demolition of all the facilities on that site and all new buildings, new garage, new administration building, and a new judicial center. So this is existing site, option 2. So option 3 would be a new site for the admin building, and the judicial center would stay on the existing site. So the demolition of all the buildings on that site, a new judicial center and parking garage on the existing site, and moving the city admin building to another site. And that site has not been determined, so that input would be interesting to us to pass on to council as well. And then option 4 is moving all the facilities off of that existing site onto a new site. So new judicial center, new administration center, and the parking garage to go along with those. So those could be on 2 separate sites or all together on the same site, but would be vacating the existing site. Yes, ma'am.
Has any discussion taken place of what they would use the current site for? We certainly don't have much in the way of a town center or a public place where major outdoor meetings could take place or demonstrations could take place or anything of a civic nature could take place.
There hasn't been any decisions made on what will take place on that site if we were to move the facilities to a different site, but all options are still on the table. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Have the attorneys and lawyers had input relative to servicing their clients at specific locations within the city, if they're going to, say, option 4, evacuate, move to a different location? So have those impact studies been done on person movement, safety of the citizens, access by attorneys, things like that?
Not specifically, no. Some of the things that we will look at from the judicial consultant is the transporting of prisoners to an existing site or to a new site and what the cost would be. But definitely the input from the attorney community is going to be important to us. Any other questions? Oh, and welcome to our Mayor Pro Tem Evelyn Pugh is here as well. The judges, the only preference that I've heard the judges say is they would like a new facility, but the location of that facility, I don't believe they've expressed an opinion one way or the other that I'm aware of. Yeah, their input definitely is important as well. Any other questions on the 4 options? And again, these are just options that we're looking at to provide additional detail to council. At the February 26th meeting, we'll be coming back to them with the results of our public meetings, just to give them as much information as we can. So the next is, again, you'll see something pop up on your phone. It's asking you which is your preferred option. And you do have the handout. You can look back through those to see if option 1, 2, 3, or 4 is your preferred option. So we had about 18 folks before. I want to make sure everyone has a chance to give their input. Give everybody a few more seconds. I think we had 18. So you can see, based on just the folks that are in this room, option 4 is the preferred option from this group, then option 2 and option 3 kind of split there in the middle. But it looks like option 4 with this group of folks is the option, which is moving off of the existing site with both facilities. We do want to offer some time for some questions and comments. If anyone has any questions, our city manager, Isaiah Hughley, is here also. I didn't see any other counselors walk in. So if there are any questions, we're happy to discuss any questions, options, comments.
Just looking,
Okay.
I'd be interested in hearing why those who prefer a different location. Would you care to say why you would prefer a different location? You see Charlene Grant?
Yes, we recognize her. Yes, ma'am.
We think the judicial building should be close to the sheriff's office and the jail. I can tell you when we go to the government center, it's really kind of uncomfortable when you know you have court going on and you have prisoners coming and going. So it's kind of nice if we had a place, well, now we do with this building, to get our driver's licenses and, you know, our car tags and those kind of things. But it's just, seems very crowded at the government center, and when you've got all of the courts going on, that tends to be really crowded. So we think that it would be better served to be closer to the sheriff's office and the jail.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
I was one of the citizens who had the opportunity to tour the government center when you folks were doing that a summer or two ago. And I was absolutely appalled at the condition of the building, but also at the design of the building. It seemed to be a testament to ego on the part of the people who built it. And architecturally, beauty is only skin deep, and that is a prime example of it. The idea that anyone would put up a major building in a community with a basement that has no access to the outdoors, so that when major systems go down, you can't replace them, is the height of idiocy. And the idea that we have all of this gorgeous marble and everything down in the public areas, and then nobody could afford to put a sprinkler system throughout the top 10 floors, is also appalling. That building is a fire trap. The sooner it's torn down, the better. I would hope new structures put up by this city would be much more environmentally friendly, much safer, and much more conscientiously designed, so that when the building is 50 years old, it is repairable if needed. It is still structurally sound. You know, that building right there is practically architectural malpractice.
Thank you, ma'am, for your observations. Others? Yes.
I've been on that courthouse 28 years, working 5 on the second floor. First of all, that is our court records and our real estate records. Everything in the history of the motor schools that they want. They need to be protected. The way it's set up now is not. These tarps, you have the things that tarps on protected. We can make sure the new building, whichever it goes, has a vault-type system to protect our books and our records. That is our kitchen. Not in the court system. Secondly, you can't really go and call it up the fire trucks in the kitchen. Right now, being on the second floor alone, if there's a fire, they can't reach us. We're just out of the window and try to jump to the fire. Well, they was what it said to us. Guys, they are doing something about that now, but for 28 years, we live in acres. And I make a suggestion, follow it, because they can, but also to check the records that we have for our history.
There was another hand. Yes.
I'm curious about a study, because the judicial center being there,
you move to the judicial center, you have a lot of attorneys that rent all that property around there. Will that affect the property values of those buildings that are now being rented by attorneys, which makes it very convenient for them to go back and forth and file paperwork that needs to be done, especially in the criminal defense side. They need to go daily to see the judge and get things signed, warrants need to sign, everything, and they need someplace close. And right now, they're all housed right there, in all those little buildings around it. That's also going to affect all that property there, and the site needs to come to that, because it's going to affect property values all around the area, not just that building, that site.
So your comment would be if the new courthouse or judicial center is not in close proximity to where the current judicial center, yeah, yes,
And our judicial process
yeah.
for defendants.
And so we're taking notes on all of your comments so that we can take them into consideration as we go forward. Others, there were some comments of moving to a different site, but then there were some saying stay on the same site. We'd like to hear from those who would like to see remain on the same site.
My only thought is on the same site, again, your legal community primarily in that same area and close proximity to the jail and other things. You know, without knowing where a new site would be, it's kind of hard to say for sure.
Sure.
So you're going to be able to, in new construction, if it was on the same site or a different location on the judicial side, would you or have you ever considered allowing additional office space to be constructed to lease to the attorneys as a source of revenue? Or is that crossing some boundaries there?
Well, you know, I think certainly you couldn't do that for the judicial center, but for the if there's a separate administration building, then you know we can enter your question as part of the discussion. That is happening across the country in other communities where it's mixed use. We want to hear more. Talk to us.
Is current traffic pattern a problem? I've been on jury duty when looking up in the break and watching a train roll through the middle of town, and sometimes have to do. I'm not sure is traffic pattern necessarily an issue on location.
I don't see that. What do you? I don't see it as, no. I mean, I go to the government center in and out all day, every day, and the train is really, in terms of an inconvenience, it's not an issue right there on 9th.
That's just an example.
Yeah.
Is there other competing issues with traffic pattern, flow, process?
None that would you wouldn't expect in a downtown area. Ingress, egress is really not in and out of the building necessarily, but around the building, getting in and out is pretty easy, convenient. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And even if on the same spot, any parking deck should be accessible to the public.
Yes. So, you've heard the options. How many think that we need to renovate the existing building, and then I'd be interested in knowing how many think that we need to demo the building and start over altogether? Yeah.
Yeah, we had one person that wanted to renovate the existing.
One person who wanted to renovate. And,
All other options had new facilities.
Okay. so there's one person in here who thinks we should renovate. And others think new facility,
New facilities.
demo and construct new.
If you reno, or is that, how much, has it been studied how much more cost it would be to have temporary locations if you're going to renovate, plus the cost of the renovation? How
what-
much more does that cost, rather than, well, I guess it works out either way, because if you're going to demo and move, you still have to move.
Well, and,
Plus a demo, so.
yeah, and obviously, we're trying to figure out how best to do it. If you demoed the wings first, for example, and construct on that site while the government center tower is still in use, then it would allow the courtrooms to continue because the courtrooms are in the government center tower. And if you built a judicial center, let's say, where the wings are, and then they move out, and yes, so it'd have to be a coordinated effort. We don't have it all figured out, but it'd be a coordinated effort to make sure the government is still able to function. Yes, ma'am.
I think renovating that tower would be a rather difficult thing to do, despite the fact that it's in decrepit condition, it's very solidly built. And I've heard people say, like with the water pipes and things, that you can line the pipes and get use still out of them. But it's such a huge building, and even then, some of the pipes are like 1-inch pipes. So if you put something inside those pipes, you've reduced the diameter of the pipes, you're putting less water through. You still have the problem with the basement where the heating system, the generator and everything is stuck down in this hole that you can't get out from the inside. The problem with the storage of important records is a critical problem that has to be dealt with probably sooner rather than later, because if a fire got started, we got to tour these areas where these records were stored, and in a lot of these offices, you have boxes stacked. The bottom layer of boxes are empty boxes, and then the next layers are filled with records, and then they have these little tarps tucked in little cubby holes and stuff around, and whenever anybody notices a leak, all the worker bees come out and quick throw the tarps over the boxes. That's ridiculous. As far as the lawyers, when you look into the future, you look at banking right now, an awful lot of banking transactions are done online. You can sign your documents online, and they are legally valid. I think we're getting to the point where a lot of legal records will not be on hard copy unless somebody decides, oh, I want to print out a copy of this. But transmitting between point A and point B is very shortly, if it's not already there, going to be largely done electronically.
John Redmond.
Excuse me, I have a couple of thoughts on it. One, I like the idea of having them in separate buildings, the administration and the judicial, for the same reasons that have been spoken. Obviously, there's some advantage to having the judicial center close by the jail or connected to it, Sally Ford or something like that. But I think one of the things that hasn't really been brought up tonight, but I believe it was by one of our counselors several weeks ago, is looking at the best use of land. We've got a very valuable piece of land down there where the government center is, as well as the one where the annex is located on the corner of Veterans Parkway. The proceeds from the sale of those two properties put all the people and all the administration, other than what's at the Citizen Service Center, back in one administrative building to be accomplished. To save that, plus if you kept them in this existing building during the time of construction, you don't have to look for additional space, much of which would probably have to be converted, and you go through two booths, doing it that way, versus one if you stay in the existing building until the new facilities are built. So I think those things have to be considered. And we know we need more hotel rooms downtown to support the civic center, and the trade center rather, and That would be an optimal location for a large hotel.
So any others? Mayor, you have any closing comments? Oh, I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem.
If you have not been in a government center, walk up those steps, go up to those floors, you need to do it. Because I remember we used to have council changing that every day, and now several flights of stairs, all back up. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
So renovate is not, it is not an option.
Okay. Right. Mayor?
No, just thank you, and this is not your only opportunity to make a comment. If you think of something as you leave here, you can contact the city manager's office, you can contact the mayor's office, contact Councilors House, Crabb, or Mayor Pro Tem Pugh. Any member of council will be happy to hear your input. And this is a process, and we are in the information seeking phase of this process, because we recognize that whatever we do, we want to stand the test of time. As it was pointed out, 50 years down the road, we don't want to have to start over from scratch. We want something that is solid, functional, and safe, and economical to operate. I do appreciate Mr. Redmond's comments because they sort of align with my own. If everything was level on the money part, I think it makes perfect sense to be conjoined with the jail to ensure the highest degree of safety for our sheriff's department and also for our citizens who are serving on juries. And I would love to see a general government building that brought in the annex, sold 2 valuable pieces of commercial property, and then served as sort of an impetus for other development. If you had 500 or 600 people operating out of one building, it would still be, in my mind, in this general area, maybe on the other side of Veterans Parkway, but certainly in the same part of town. I think you would see some stimulated interest in whatever environment it was located in. And to me, that's the best way to turn the expenditure of these funds from an expense to an investment. Because if you do have to spend this money to build this building, if you put it somewhere where you have an opportunity to generate more property tax dollars through development, more sales tax dollars through restaurants and retail that would probably follow, as it has throughout history, the population and where they are. So that's my kind of take on it. But it's all to a great degree, predicated on the cost and understanding what the numbers are looking like. And that's the second phase of this. So please continue to reach out to your representatives, let them know what your thoughts are. And we'll, if we do it right on this piece, we'll get it right on the back end.
Well, thank you for coming.